You've probably heard the saying, seeing is believing. But what if I told you that believing is actually seeing? What if the world you think you are living in isn't really what it seems, but instead it's a reflection of your own mind? Yes, the reality you experience is not just out there, waiting to be discovered. It's shaped, often unconsciously, by your perceptions, beliefs, and thoughts. In this video, we are going to explore how your mind shapes reality, the power of perception. By the end of this journey, you will have a new understanding of how your mind can be both your greatest ally and your most subtle enemy in creating the life you desire. We will dive into the science behind perception, examine spiritual insights, and explore practical steps to harness this power effectively. Stick around, because this isn't just another self-help talk. It's a paradigm shift that could redefine the way you see everything around you. Here's what you can look forward to: the science of perception, how your brain constructs reality, perception versus reality, the illusions that shape our everyday experiences, the spiritual insight, what Islamic teachings and other spiritual texts say about the power of perception, the power of belief, how your core beliefs influence your reality, practical strategies, how to reshape your perceptions to create a better life. Real life stories, examples of how changing perception has transformed their lives. Let's start with the mind-bending concept. The reality you experience is not directly perceived, but rather constructed by your brain. Neuroscience tells us that our senses, sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, receive raw data from the environment. The data is incomplete and often ambiguous. Your brain then takes this data, interprets it, fills in the gaps, and constructs what you perceive as reality. Consider the famous example of optical illusions. Two lines of the same length can appear vastly different depending on their context. Your brain interprets the lines based on cues and past experiences, creating a perception that doesn't necessarily match reality. This is a simple yet profound demonstration of how your mind can create a reality that may not be objectively true. Now apply these to more complex aspects of life: relationships, career choices, personal identity. If your brain can be fooled by a simple line, imagine how much of your life is shaped by subconscious assumptions and mental shortcuts. This brings us to our next point. Every day we encounter situations where our perceptions dictate our responses. You walk into a meeting and feel like everyone is judging you. But are they? Or is that just your mind projecting your insecurities onto others? You might perceive a comment from a colleague as a slight where it was meant as constructive feedback. These are examples of cognitive distortions, ways in which our minds trick us into seeing the world not as it is, but as we believe it to be. There are many types of cognitive distortions, such as overgeneralization and filtering out the positive. Each of these distorts reality, creating a version of events that fits into negative emotions and behaviors. Recognizing these distortions is the first step in reclaiming control over your perception. Islamic teachings provide profound insights into the power of perception. The Quran and Hadith repeatedly emphasize the importance of having a positive outlook and trusting in Allah's plan. The concept of tawakkul, trust in God, encourages believers to see beyond the immediate difficulties and trust that there is wisdom in every situation, whether we perceive it or not. Surah Al-Baqarah verse 216 says, "But perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it's bad for you, and Allah knows while you know not." This verse highlights the limits of human perception. We often judge situations based on immediate outcomes, but there is a larger picture we cannot see. Trusting in divine wisdom requires us to adjust our perceptions, to see challenges as opportunities for growth and blessings in disguise. Romans 12 verse 2 in the Bible advises, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This renewal of the mind is about changing the way we perceive the world, aligning your thoughts with higher truth rather than worldly appearances. In both Islamic and Christian teachings, the message is clear. Perception shapes reality, and by shifting our perceptions, we can transform our lives in accordance with divine wisdom. Now let's delve into the power of belief. Your core beliefs are the underlying assumptions you hold about yourself, others, and the world. These beliefs act as filters, shaping how you interpret and respond to everything around you. For instance, if you believe that you are not worthy of success, your mind will subconsciously sabotage opportunities, interpret neutral situations as failures, and reinforce that belief through selective perception. On the other hand, if you believe in your potential and worth, you are more likely to seize opportunities, see setbacks as temporary, and persist in the face of challenges. The placebo effect is a striking example of how belief shapes reality. When patients believe they are receiving effective treatment, even if it's just a sugar pill, they often experience real improvements in their condition. This demonstrates the immense power of the mind in creating real, tangible changes in the body based on belief alone. To harness this power, it's crucial to examine and reframe your core beliefs. Are they empowering you or holding you back? The process of identifying limiting beliefs and replacing them with positive ones is a key step in reshaping your perception and, by extension, your reality. So how do you take control of your perceptions and start shaping a reality that aligns with your goals and desires? Here are some practical strategies. 1. Mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness helps you become aware of your thoughts and perceptions in the present moment. Meditation, particularly mindful meditation, trains you to observe your thoughts without judgment, allowing you to recognize when your mind is distorting reality. Over time, this practice helps you develop greater control over your perceptions, reducing the impact of cognitive distortions. 2. Cognitive reframing. This technique involves challenging and changing negative thought patterns. When you notice a negative perception, ask yourself if there's another way to view the situation. For example, if you perceive a setback as a failure, reframe it as a learning opportunity. This shift in perspective can have profound effects on your emotional and mental well-being. 3. Positive affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly. They help reinforce empowering beliefs and will gradually reshape your perception of yourself and your capabilities. For example, affirmations like "I am capable of achieving my goals" or "I trust in the journey" can counteract self-doubt and negativity. 4. Gratitude practice. Focusing on what you are grateful for shifts your perception from scarcity to abundance. A daily gratitude practice where you list things you are thankful for can transform your overall outlook on life. It helps you see the good in situations and people rather than focusing on what's lacking or going wrong. 5. Surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with and the media you consume influence your perceptions. Surround yourself with positive, supportive individuals who uplift and encourage you. Limit exposure to negative media and environments that reinforce negative perceptions. 6. Self-reflection and journaling. Regular self-reflection through journaling helps you track your thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. By writing down your experiences and reviewing them later, you can identify patterns in your thinking and make conscious efforts to change them. 7. Seek spiritual guidance. Engage with spiritual teachings that resonate with you, whether through reading scripture, prayer, or discussing with a spiritual mentor. These practices can provide deeper insights into the nature of reality and help you align your perceptions with higher truth. Let me share a real-life story to illustrate the power of perception. Consider the story of Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel Prize laureate. Despite facing extreme adversity, being shot by a gunman for advocating for girls' education, Malala's perception of her situation was not one of defeat or victimhood. Instead, she saw it as a call to action, an opportunity to amplify her message on a global stage. Her perception of her purpose and the world around her transformed her reality, turning her into a powerful advocate for education and women's rights. On a more personal level, I once worked with a client who struggled with severe anxiety. She perceived every challenge as a threat, and her reality was one of constant fear. Through mindfulness and cognitive reframing, she began to shift her perception. She started to see challenges as opportunities for growth and her anxiety as a signal, not an obstacle. Over time, her reality shifted from one dominated by fear to one filled with empowerment and resilience. These stories demonstrate that changing your perception can have a profound impact on your reality. It's not about denying difficulties, but about seeing them through a lens that empowers rather than diminishes you. By now, you've seen that the power of perception is not just a philosophical idea. It's a reality-shaping force that influences every aspect of your life. The way you perceive the world around you directly impacts your thoughts, emotions, and actions, ultimately creating the reality you experience. Now, I want to challenge you. What perceptions are holding you back? What limiting beliefs have you accepted as truth? Start today by applying the strategies we've discussed. Become mindful of your thoughts. Challenge your cognitive distortions. Reshape your beliefs. Remember, your reality is not set in stone. It's a fluid, ever-changing construct shaped by the power of your mind. So take control. Create the reality you want to live in. And remember, as the Quran teaches us, verily, with every hardship comes ease. Perception is the key to unlocking that ease, even in the midst of life's challenges.